Okay, good morning everyone, no? My Nstp class. Kanang today I am going to discuss to you with the third module, no? Ikatulo na to nga module kay. No, man na naman ta, this is not our first meeting, man na. Not our first meeting and second meeting, and right now we are going to continue with the third module. Okay? So I will be presenting to you your third module. So of course, no, right now, we are going to tackle no unsa day mga kuan no kaning how to be good Filipino citizens in the time of pandemic and beyond. So according to the sayings no nagyapon no diri sa ubos, citizenship is an attitude, no, a state of mind, an emotional conviction that the whole is greater than the part, and that the part should be humbly proud to sacrifice itself that the whole may live. So that was beautifully said with Robert A. Heinlein. And that is definitely true, no? Kay karon gud sa tuang dako kayong kining kausaban, no? Coming from those previous kind of living that we are enjoying last time, no, nga wa pay pandemic. Lahi na gid karon, no? Labi na karon nga daghan kayo dili lang ang pandemic atong giatubang, no, na mga ang kadaiya nga kalamidad o mga kasamo. So dire according to Robert A. Heinlein nyo nga ang citizenship kuno no is an attitude, no, attitude because it becomes a usual practice, no, a usual practice, a state of mind. Of course dili lang no sa panahon lang no nga gana-gana, but of course we have to kanibang develop those spirit of voluntariness, or kanibang to develop a spirit wherein we are also uh considering no the greater number of people wherein asa dapita ang makabenepisyo og mas dako. So dire an emotional conviction that the whole world is greater than the part, and that is yes, atong una-una no kung unsay makapaayo para sa tanan dili lang magsinilfish ta, no. So we have to consider also sa lain nga mga tawo, labi na sa atong mga kapwa Filipino. So kay kana no, dako kay na siya nga ikatabang para sa atuwa nga nationhood or nation building. Okay? So what are the intended learning outcomes? So within the session series, the NSTP students will be able to, so unsa may mga learning outcomes. Number one, demonstrate understanding on the responsibilities of a Filipino citizen. So unsa day no ang ato ang mga responsibilidad isip usa ka Filipino nga citizen. Ikaduha, to demonstrate adherence to the four core values. So we have four core values: makatao, makadiyos, makakalikasan, at makabansa. No? And also to show respect for the rights of students and other people in the school and local community. So, dire, dili lang sa tuang society, dili lang sa tuang community, but also the rights of the individual. Estudyante ka man, faculty ka man, no? Or so on and so forth, no? All of the personnel nga naa sa eskwelahan, no, nag unsay tawag ani, nahimong parts organization. Excuse me kas. Akong iuod kasi puting inita, no, for a while. Okay, so we back to where did I stop? Okay, they also show respect to the others. So it's very important. It's not only applicable for the organizations, but sa tanan-tanan, no, sa tanan higayon, no, as much as possible, no. Sige. Okay, what are needed to be prepared, no? Things to prepare. So dire Genius of the Filipino Poor. So this is the source, no? If you want to visit the website, of course you can actually click the link that is actually provided. There is a source. Kick off questions, how can I be a good citizen in this time of pandemic? So sa ano mo na to ang pangutana no, mapangutana na to sa ato ang kaugalingon. So here part 1. Topic 1, Filipino characteristics. So Filipino characteristic, Filipino traits that make the Philippines fun to visit. So, dire no? Ingon. The Philippines is a site of natural wonders and eye-catching scenery. The archipelago is not without verdant hills and mountains, lush forestry, exotic animals, and rolling waves. More importantly, the Filipinos make the Philippines fun to visit, thanks to their unique traits and laudable talents and crafts. What tourist could even forget the jeepney, the only vehicle of its kind in the world, or the Filipinos' habit of kissing the hands of their elders and adding the words po and opo to their sentences, a language feature that is not evident in other cultures. Truly, the Philippines is also a melting pot of various traditions cultivated within centuries of colonial rule and shaped by indigenous practices handed down from generation to generation. So for tourists, it is a marvel to see the unique traits of Filipinos. These characteristics give them their own identity and eventuality attract tourists to visit the country more often. So these unique traits are the following. So muna ni class, no? We're going to discuss one by one about the different 15 unique traits of Filipino. Number one, we have hospitality. So as you can see to the picture, no? Na ay mga na ay visitor nga ni arrive no niya nasa pultahan no niya giagdan ay mga pagkaon nga gi-prepare for them. So Filipinos are known for being hospitable. So especially to tourists and wanderers who do not, excuse me, do not have a place to stay. In some tourist spots, such as Baguio City, locals even offer the comforts of their own homes for tourists who need a place to stay for a night or two. So, yung ana sila kabuutan, no? They are going to, they're going to accept visitors, no? Sa luag kayo nga pamaagi, no? Nga, ilahang itratar og tarong. Next, we have optimism. So, despite being a path for typhoons, Filipinos remain positive about their situation. So whatever problems come their way, they always greet visitors with a smile on their faces and say, it's okay. No? So, grabe kay optimistic ang Filipino. Very positive. So karon no, that is evident because despite the fact that we are actually struggling now with this pandemic and dili naman kay usaray naapektahan sa pandemic no, millions of people ang naapektahan aning pandemic. So, muna nga despite sa ato ang mga kakulian karon no, let's not make it hinder for us to be able to pursue our dreams and to pursue our goals. So, ato lang gino namin gani uban no, they actually use it laban lang oh, nga nga unsa nay nga ana slogan no for us to be able to develop this self determination. Next, we have resourcefulness. Something resourcefulness. So Filipinos are talented and highly creative. No, they can fashion instruments out of kitchen utensils and could solve problems at a snap of a finger thanks to their resourcefulness. So grabe kayo no, grabe kayo ka unsa na kanang grabe kay ma-idea kayo no o maparaan kay ning Filipino. No, aside from the fact that we are actually good no in different kaning mga handicrafts no mga kanang mga guba na no nga mga butang ilang atong simbolo no mahimo nga pwede siya magamit og balik, no? So, grabe kay ka-resourceful. And even kaning fashion instruments out of kitchen utensils, no? Naamay mga na mga kutsara, tinidor, himuong bracelet, oh. So, daghan og pagi. Ang Filipino is very resourceful. Next, Filipino kuno is very respectful when it comes to elders. And yes, no, nalang hapon, no, they have a habit of kissing the hands of elders, an act that means they are asking for their elders' blessings. They call it mano. Mano po, lola, mano po, tita, tito, no? Um, that those are one of the Filipino characteristics that is very important, no? And that actually held up a very remarkable kaayong tatak para sa mga Pinoy. Strong family ties. Uh, Only in the Philippines will you see families that bond together like no other. In a typical household, you'll see extended families like the grandparents and the couple, siblings, all coexisting harmoniously with the nuclear family. So, ang ilang gibuhat, no, sa tuang gibuhat, no, usually sa Filipino, unlike sa Amerika, no, they like pag maminyo na sila, no, at the age of 18, they're going to separate from their parents because they have to develop that sense of independence. But there is a two ano kaning strong family ties. They even though naminyo na no, still ang uban na lang gyapon sila ang mamagpapa, no. Other than that, o na ilang mamagpapa na yuta no, ara na po sila magtukod og balay duol sa ilaha. It's because that is one way that it proves that Filipino are actually uh, putting importance about the family. Huh? They're always putting importance. They love their family so much that uh, they want to spend their whole life with their family and to celebrate their life together with their family. Okay. Next, we have collective pride. Filipinos are mighty proud of their cultural heritage and are doubly proud when they hear of Filipinos making it big in other countries. For them, there's no half Filipino. A person who with born with Filipino blood, no matter how small the percentage is regarded with respect and pride. So, bisan pa og kana na half no, ng half Filipino pilam ka no, actually as long as no you have that blood no running from particular kayong race kaning Filipino. Oh, so like si just like for example, no, silang Jessica Sanchez, sila Bruno Mars, oh, and even kani si Dwayne Johnson. So they have that Filipino blood also. But despite the fact that they actually grow up no dito sa gawas no sa nasod, but still no kita we are still so proud no that they are also a Filipino no. Uh, Pareha kalahi na to sila. So, that's how a collective pride that is actually being developed by each Filipino. Next, strong work ethic. Oh, grabe ko na kaya, no? Strong work ethic. Filipinos are also committed individuals, especially in the workforce. So, tourists admire Filipino valleys and billboys who always extend a helping hand to them, despite calling on their service in the wee hours. There's no snobbish attitude among the Filipinos. So, ang Filipino, no, despite the fact nga, wala, no, that is actually their rest period, no? Pero, when someone actually called them, no, especially kana nga, kana ng emergency or something that could actually uh, needs the idea of the Filipino to actually perform or to ano kana ba to help no to be general no? If there are if there are instances that they will be called no for help, wala sila pagduha-duha nga mutabang. So that's one of the Filipino greatest character, the strong work ethic. Next, we have industriousness, no? Once berated by national hero si Rizal for following after the colonizers, siesta rule and indolence. Sorry, siesta rule and indolence. So the typical Filipino is hard work and has no qualms about working beyond their schedule. So for them, for us Filipino, no matter what, uh, even though we can actually kanibang exert effort no beyond the expectations, or even though kita na binayran ta no sa tukma lang nga oras inana, but we Filipinos are willing to extend extra service. That's how hardworking we are. Next, we have helpfulness. So Filipinos are generally liked by tourists because they do not choose whom to help. When someone needs assistance, they really readily come to their aid. So that's being helpful. So, matinabangon sa day kuno ang Pilipino. Okay, next we have gratefulness. Filipinos are known for saying thank you whenever they are helped in return. Locals also give presents to tourists to thank them for taking time to visit the region. So, nindot kay nga panag-ingnan kaning gratefulness. We are very great kanang gratitude, no? When someone actually help us, no? In return, we're going to say thank you. That becomes the habit of that becomes the culture, not the habit, but the culture of the Filipino. At the same time also, because like for example, to some other places in the country, no, nga bisitahon og mga turista, uh, for them, no, kanang mga tao nga nagpuyo in that particular place, they are very much grateful because somehow, no, they are so happy that the visitors actually spend time, no, to actually touch their lives and to know something about them. Okay? Next, we have honesty. Kanisa no, honesty ko no. Usa sa mga characteristics sa Filipino. So, excuse me, have you heard of the honesty store in Batanes where no one guards the store, thus letting residents and tourists purchase goods and pay whatever amount they want? How about the cab drivers who return wallets and other belongings to their passengers? This this show how honest Filipinos can be, and this is also the reason why tourists trust them completely. So na day place dito sa Batanes no nga gitawag og honesty store. So no need to actually hire someone uh to watch over no sa inyo nga mga paninda, and so the guards no na that will actually mubantay sa store no for its security, but it is actually giving the kanibang gitawag na to og dako kay nga kumpiyansa ano para nga meaning to say they doesn't have any trust issues with with anyone, no, basig matoris pa ka or taga diha ra pagka nga lugar, because for them no it's very important nya gani no dili lang na siya kay dito lang sa Batanes no, napoy mga places I have heard before no nga naay kuan sa guard no sa police no na police station nga dako nga police station class nga na sila yung mga baligya dito nga mga soft drinks, mga chichirya, and then there is no one who actually look after the store. Wala nagbantay sa store, ang ilarag yung buhaton when they are going to get something from the naamtoy murag kanang mutag ng hulog-hulog no, or ang uban po naikindi dito, so they only have to put their money in there, and then if naisukli sila ra po mukuha po og pila ang ilang isukli. And that's I think that's a very good practice kay somehow no we should not forget that this particular kanibang character that we have as a Filipino, that becomes the trademark for us sa atuang culture. Next, we have courtesy. We're done now with this po and opo, and it is very important. Excuse me, guys. So courtesy. Aside from saying po and opo, Filipinos are known worldwide to be very polite, and they make sure that they give their visitors a warm welcome. No? That's a courtesy also. Aside from the fact that kani pagdawat og bisita kwas, it is not only they are hospitable but courtesy, because we are actually ang kani kung kuan sa courtesy, it's not only being polite, no, but it is also kanibang gitawag og putting importance, no, sa ato ang mga guest na putting importance also or significance to the one to one another, no, sa mga tao nga modulong sa tua, no, nga gani biblical mo na siya class, no, that I think that is one of the matter that is actually being preached by Jesus Christ, no. We have to love our neighbor, no. Kung kinsa tong moduong dulong na mga taong dumuduong ato nga gigutom pakanon, na dumuduong nga giuhaw paimnon. Walay biste sininaan. Walay walay kahigdaan patulugon. Okay? So next we have bravery. Diha no, as you can see in the picture, mga komando. The Filipino spirit is marked with courage, especially in times of distress and other problems. So when it comes to bravery, Filipino is very uh, valiant, no, in spirit. Grabe kay highly spirited. We are so brave also. Filipino are so brave. So next, we have unity. Bitaw, that is also a very remarkable character of the Filipino, no, kaning bayanihan. Also referred to as the bayanihan. Filipinos help one another when their fellow men need them. And siguro wala na nato nakita karon, no, diri sa tuang community, I don't know, but sa mountain part siguro napay mga nagpractice ani, and so the other part of the country sa Philippines nga especially katong mga province kay Cordillera, Batanes, no, still even though right now we are facing, no, in the age of technology, but still naalang gyapon na siya na culture sa katong mga mountain part or dili raman aning bayanihan system, no, nga kaning pag-alsa og balay na to makuha ang unity kanilang panahon sa pandemic right now, no, na mga nagbutang og mga community pantry. So that is one way also that they are actually uh, inviting people, no, inviting people and telling the people that we have to help each other because in this time of in these trying times, no, nga to na encounter karon, uh, ang kaning kuano kaning ato ang tabang, no, bisan lang og kanang gamay ra na para sa tuwa, but that could actually change lives of the other people. Next we have faith, no. Filipinos are very faithful kuno. The Philippines is predominantly a Catholic country, and wherever the Filipinos go, they always make it a point to honor God Almighty. Tourists can attest to the many churches, old and new, erected in the country. Tinuod, no? Daghan kayo og simbahan, ya gani na mga extension sa simbahan kaning mga chapel. Uh, Mostly kaning mga Catholic, Roman Catholic, and not only mentioning the Roman Catholic because kaning mga other Christians day, no, they are also part of this character because they are also promoting kaning kuano ano bang faith with uh, the sovereign or the Almighty Father or the God Almighty. So ila ni silang kuano ila gyapon gani, no, daghan pag mga tao nga nag-render og service for free, no, para lang to preach and to kaning to share with the good news of the Lord. So next we have 14 bad habits. So if naatay mga we Filipinos have good characters, we also have the 14 bad habits that Filipinos should break to achieve progress. Unsa man ni siya nga mga bad habits? Nga mo nagingon, no, nga it is so hard to actually dati kantakas nga breaking hard habit. Tino, no, habits are hard to break. And many people who have them are not even aware they possess them. So we encounter them everywhere. We read them on the social media and the comments left by Filipinos on a timely and popular post on Facebook, on a blog, or in a news website. Now, oftentimes they are irritating, especially if you're a positive-minded person because these habits are also negativity. However, we must admit we could also have any of them. Of course, Filipinos have good habits. We are known to be hospitable, resilient, creative, and many more. But the situation of our country reflects the majority of our citizens. Face it, the Philippines is still a developing country, which means a less developed country compared to our neighbors Singapore, Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, and Brunei. As a developing country, we still have many citizens who are suffering from poverty, starvation, homelessness, and lack of education. You may agree or disagree, but the bottom line, and in order to make our country, all its regions and provinces, and every Filipinos, wherever they are in the world, truly rise and experience not only national development but also human development, we have to break our own bad habits. If the following bad habits or attitudes will be removed from most of us, I believe that real progress will inevitably follow the Philippines. One, we have crab mentality. So these are some of us Filipinos who got a better view at competition. So that if we cannot win, then no one will, no? There must be no one, no? Mo no, bitaro, no? Kung gitawag siya crab mentality class, you know why? Kaning crab, try to cook crab. Di ba, buhi pa man ng crab, no? Imo i-cook ang crab sa kaldero. Nagpinatungay na sila class, no? Pinatungay na sila, magbinitaray na sila nga, kay magpinatungay sila. Gitawag si mo na siyang gitawag og crab mentality. So, instead of helping each other to be successful, we even make ways to pull them down, like discourage them from taking great opportunities or destroying their image. This is because we want to be the only one at the top. If only we would see the achievements of our friends, we should realize that the of each Filipino contribute to the improvement of the country. And this can help all of us to be successful as well. You know, no? Instead of putting grudges or kanibang uh, having that feeling of envy, no? Sa imuha nga isig kataw because of what they have actually achieved, make that one as an inspiration instead, no? Kasi imuhang bitarong ang tao because that is not a good character. Okay? Next, we have procrastination or mañana habit. Kanino daghan kay taog makuan ani no, daghan kay og maigo ani no. Uh, kaning mañana habit. Usahay class, undeniably class kita naam ta aning habit no usahay ang bation tag kapoy ana no. But not to the extent class that we are going to allow this kana bang bad habit ba nga sa siging unya-unya hantod na lang ginon maabtan nag-deadline no. Unyahin noon magpabungbuang na lang ba? Mao ba deadline na di ay? Kaway nakalimot man ko 'no? So mao ni siya result sa man na habit. This is another habit which keeps the development of our country slow. Look at the government projects which have been left undone for years. If only they were completed immediately, then many Filipinos would have already benefited from them. This is also true with many of us. Instead of working on a task while there is much time, we wait for the deadline because we feel lazy to start on them, or we want to use the time in our things. Of course, the outcome of our completed work would not be of high quality because they were rushed. Tinuod, no? Sige, unya-unya, hanto na lang noon, abta na lang yun sa deadline, and then ang resulta na ginhinuon, wala, no? Kay, kuha naman, dinali-dali naman, di na hinuon, nindot og kalidad, no? Ang atuang nga ato nga gikuan, ato nga gitrabaho. So, that's one also. Next, we have bahala na or come what may, no? Murag air supply no, come what may, she loves me. Mao na siya, no? Bahala na. This is another habit that destroys the image of Filipinos, no? Instead of doing something to make things happen, we tend to just leave the outcome to whatever that could happen. So come what may, we say. For instance, instead of studying for exams, some students may spend more time in computer games and gimmicks while leaving their chance of passing the midterms to luck. We could attribute this habit to fate, reasoning out that God will help us become successful. However, as the Christian saying goes, faith without work is dead. Tinuod 'no, tinuod kayo 'no, usahay mingon ta Ginoo na lang bahala, siya na lang bahala nako makapasar pasar ba kog di, ako na lang ibilin niya tanan. But it's not good. Why? Oh, niingon biyang tao, lihok tawo katabangan ko kamo. Oh, napayulain diri oh. Faith without work is dead. So, oh, nituo ka, you believe in God, but you do not do something, no, to make that desire come true. Oh, di wala, way mahitabo. Okay? We have some goals, then we need to work in order to achieve them. So, let us condition our mind that this particular work that is actually given to us, no, this is not actually let's not actually put that one in a situation nga burden man ni siya mao man naka-add up sa kong burden, no, but instead, di ba, but instead igaasa na sa Ginoo, no, face it as something that can make you improve as a person, dili sa challenge class. Kaya ang actually class, to tell you honestly, ang Ginoo class dili masuwayon, no, dili, actually it's not coming from the idea of God nga i-put ang tao into a test, di ba? Because in the first place, oh, atong kahagbasya, during the creation of God nilang Adam and Eve, gisukod bugod sila sa Ginoo, wala man. Ang Ginoo dili masukdanon. It is very wrong, no, nga moingon ta nga ay gihatag na sa Ginoo na 'to para ta makuhaan ta maleksyon. It's not actually the God that let the people suffer. It's the people, the mentality of the people that makes them suffer. Ang Ginoo, what is always there in God is kaning mingon ta, God is justice. Oh, if God is justice, why will He put every people into a test? Dili, no? It's not the God. No, that's very wrong. I have to correct that one. I have my strong conviction when it comes to that matter, no, nga ang Ginoo mohatag og pagsuway, di man class, actually it's not the God, no? Siguro that serves that one, no? Na kana bang just actually accept that one, no? Imo na siyang dawaton because that is something that can make you better, a better person. Kaya siyempre kung makabalo ka na or naka-experience ka na, whether successful or di successful, that can change you, no? That can actually change your perception and understanding. But pasabot na lang kay idea, mao na ako naghibuhat sa una na failure ko. Oh, at least you learn, di ba? You become better. Okay? Hypocrisy. Hypocrisy, no? Being a double-faced person. Oh, hypocrite. Kanibang kuan ba? Kanibang kuan kas kanabang sige, plastic ba, plastic. As a country which claims to value morality, most of us try to live up to the standards set by the traditional society. However, as no one is perfect, many of us are not actually able to sustain these standards. So the fear of being an outcast has forced a lot of people to live a double standard life. Tinuod, no? Na-pressure sa tuwa nga kana nga, no? We have to, there are values, no, there are values, especially of morality, that are that we are keeping, we're still keeping because that is coming from the ancestor, no. Yeah, I think that is actually rooted already sa tuang existence, no, as like example mingon ta as Roman Catholic natay mga beliefs and practices, no, na coming from our ancestors. Now, in this age of technology, usahay no mingon ng mga tao na tuom kanay tinuhuan manas buktot. So at some point in our lives, usahay dili kalikaya no nga mo live up ta og kaning gitawag og double standard life, no. We practice the old ones, no, when someone is not around, but we tend to, you know, detach those beliefs and those practices when someone is looking up onto us. No, naay naglantaw na to, no, naay nagsud-ong sa atong gibuhat. So the fear of being an outcast has forced a lot of people to live a double standard life. To hide our failure in following a norm, we tend to be condemned to be the by those who become pregnant outside marriage. Ang uban, mingon ang uban no nga kana nga because na sa una god we're living in a very conservative nga uh, kaning tinuhan, di ba? As a Roman Catholic. So sa tuwa nga practice sa una during sa ancient times, sa tuwang mga kaninunuan, no, pila ka sa una nga henerasyon, dapat ang babae dili sa mabuntis, kaslon una usa mabuntis. But right now, nag-una na ang buntis usa ang marriage. So With that, no, usahay, we have that feeling of guilt, no, nga, because of that feeling of guilt, ang atong buhaton kas is kanang magpadalaga-dalaga ano bisag gaipon na mo sa imong husbandry nya kanang sadyang wala lang palang G kwarta nga ikapak that is very confusing process of denial, no? As we can actually tag that particular character that is actually being possessed by a person. The sad fact behind the scenario is that some of these critics could have actually engaged in premarital sex too. No? There's ang asa mingon nga pakit ako, no? So dili man pod, no? So muna usahay, kaning hypocrisy usahay, no, that could actually makes the person mura siya gikuan tas mura siya gituok nimo imong kaugalingon or else mura kang nagpabukal og matika nga imong gikaligo, imo ring giunay og kaligo. Because anyway, you will be running with your own guilt, no? Dili man coming from the other people, that is coming from you man, no? You have that, you can actually build that guilt feeling, no, inside you. Okay? Next, we have ningas kugon. So ningas kugon in Spanish, ningas kugon means a burning kugon grass. So this flaming grass quickly burns out, and this is one of Filipino traits. Most of us are very good at this. We are excellent at starting projects or idea execution. Nevertheless, after a few hours of days, we lose the excitement and we become too lazy to finish what we have started. Yes, mo ni no? Una no, hot pa kayo, biasa man na bi. Ato nang tubuon. But lately, inig so good na, mo na, why human-human, no? Di mahuman, nga naman, tapulo naman. According right after trying this one, I have to try another one because kapuyan ko ana mga routinary works. But they God, no, ang tinuod God, nagon ning attitude kaning gitawag itog ningas kugon, no, they are very kanabang the energy is very intense, no, at the start, no, but when it comes to kuan na pila na ka days o wa na mo kuan nagka. Next we have Philip or tardiness. Excuse me, class. Instead of being something to be proud of, Filipino time brings a negative impression to our people. The Filipino time is usually associated with tardiness. When the invitation says the program will start at 7 p.m., it is expected to begin at 9 p.m. It is set at 3 p.m. The partner will arrive at 5 o'clock. This has not only caused conflicts in relationships. It also discourages others, including foreigners, from getting involved in supposedly productive activities as too much imol alas 11, no, so that we can actually share our lunch together at exactly 12. Oy, naabot bitaw naligo sa ilaha. Oh, sige na, coming na kuhan. Coming na lagi. Naligo pa, no? Actually kani gitawag Filipino time na na tulong time, no? Mm. Tulo ning time class, no? Upat day, no? American time, Japanese time, mingon og start jud na, no? Mingon tag 7 AM, 7 AM jud na. Ang tag Japanese time, mingon og 7 AM, abot nag 5 AM. Ingana Japanese, ari ta sa Indian time. Sige, sige, padung ako, no? Happy ako maabot. Pag yang nga ito, wa nga. Nag-Indian man. Oh, okay, di ba ito? Joke na lakas, no? Pero that is something that would lead us a very one kay no kanabang remarkable kayo nga idea ba nga somehow we have to ponder, no, there are things that are needed to be pondered in our mind that uh when we are not actually putting ourselves into a commitment, especially if that particular meeting or or particular things that actually demands our time is very special and that is very important, or somehow ato ang ibutang nga when you are going to become failure, no, in appearing the time nga imo ang gi-promise class, you started to destroy relationship. You started to destroy this what we call trust, especially when you are going to make dealings with foreign people. This is very important. Next, we have gossiping. Filipinos are fond of talking about one other's business. No? It is not true that only women are into gossiping. Even men can also be nosy on other people's lives. Sadly, this does not bring any good to the subjects. Secrets are brought out, failures and flaws are emphasized, and relationships are destroyed. Worse, as are passed around, they tend to be twisted until the final story becomes too far from the original, thus causing more damage. Mm. Ano yung pagka-chismosa, no? O chismoso. Storya dire. Punan sa pikas, kuhaan sa pikas, until the time will come, what na? The repercussions with all of those things that are actually being done by those injustice uh, ng mga act sa who are not just uh, ano ang mga tao nga wala yeah, definitely mo na karon no nanay taod na ano nga manakop na og taod ko na kwas because it's not good. Gossiping is not good kasi oh, walisan mo muna yung sayo, no? Next, we have this, no? Blaming others a responsibility. We Filipinos can sometimes be too self-righteous. Kita nalay sakto ba? When mistakes happen, we do not want our public. I know you know what happened during the Yolanda. The rescue and rehabilitation operations in the Yolanda affected areas became slow, courtesy of the blaming habits of our politicians in possession. Kanino? Pareha sa Yolanda, dugay kayo ang kuano, dugay kayo ang dugay kayo ang pag-response. Now, this started to point finger to whom we are going to put the blame. Ah, before you are going to point a single finger to the other people or to the other person, do not forget that the four other fingers are pointing towards you. No? Naabta na no that is usa kayo kadako kay kuana no. Usahay kan mingon ta nga isang taon na ug ako pala nagtrabaho na no manindot ta na. Inana ba no? We tend to blame other people no for para sa atong kaugalingong kuan ba pagdayig no. Well in fact, if those if you will be given a chance to perform that particular work or that particular job, mingon sa dayon ka daghan leg pasangil lang mingon nga wa mo ko nila tagay wa ko provide din lag saktong materyales mo na siya nga wa matarong og kuan no. Ah, tinuod man gas no, undeniably napay mga ingana nga character as Filipino. Next, we have in consideration being toothless of others, no? Usahay, no? Di ta mo huna sa repercussions sa atong actions, no? Whatever might be the outcome or kana bang the lagi the outcome, no? Para sa laing tao. This habit could be a result of having too many things on mind. So, have to find money for kids' tuition, need to look for a better job, stress over a drunkard or unfaithful spouse, and other problems. We become insensitive to the needs of other people because we need to focus on ourselves first. However, this country could be an easier place to live in if we were taught enough to show kindness to one another. These problems will be easier to deal with if we will help each other get over them. So, usahay, no? Kana nga, we are not, sometimes in our life, no, we're not conscious about the presence of others. Sometimes, kana ba, like example, kung natin ikalagutan usa ka tawo, like example, coming from a member of the family, imong asawa, no? Maglagot ka sa imong asawa, imong buhaton, o namoy anak, imong buhaton, sige lang kag inom, no? Kay lagot kay ko ani niya, no? Lagot kay ko sa imong asawa. Oh, you have something, no, that is actually being forgotten. Dili ra ba yan imong asawa mo'y nagpalihok sa imong kalibutan. Naa sad ba other people nga masakitan, no, kung mag-ingon anak ka. Like example, inyong anak, they know nothing and as a matter of fact, they never did something to hurt you, no? Something that can makes you feel hurt. But ang nahitabo mura usa ra ka tawo ang lihok sa inyong kalibutan, no, katura wala nag-focus na noon mo sa panimaos instead of sometimes if that particular person is not necessary nga imuha gid siya nga magkauli pa mo, o ayaw gub-ang imong kinabuhi because you might be, you might be nothing for that particular person, but you are something to another person. Tinuod bitaw na, no? Mao na usahay nga ang uban, no, nakaagi ah buwagan silang uyab mura nagmabuang, no, ang uban naghikog na. Why? Because of this attitude, this character inconsideration, no? Kaning in very inconsiderate kita, no? We do not tend to create a bigger world out of our own. Create a bigger view out of our own. Ating ginauna, kana ra, no? Atong mata naka-focus ra diha. But there are also the presence of other people who actually put importance to us. Okay? Ignoring or not following simple rules and instructions. This is number 10, no? Usa sa ni tinuod, no? Laws and regulations are created to make communities harmonious. However, how can we achieve that peaceful neighborhood if we cannot even follow the simplest rules like crossing on the pedestrian lane and not loitering around? It is not enough that we demand change in our government. We should also strive to start change in ourselves by being disciplined citizens even in the smallest ways, no? We keep on pointing to government. Oh, government, you are very kuan kayo, no? Kuan kayo inyong balaod bati ra. But you forgotten something, no? There is the presence of law, no? Gani Philippines are actually kuan kayo, no, gilantaw, no? Gilook up kini Philippines class because this is the reality. Filipinos are very good, no, in kanibang paghimo og balaod, no? Mm. Mahal kay sila, no? Mahal kay sila to legislate laws. They are very good at that. But the problem is, mao ding mahal kay ang Pilipino mahimog balaod kay undeniably daghan man sa kay mga law violators sa ato ang country, no? Naibutan na bawal magtapon ng basura when there is no one that actually looks at you, no? No one actually witness with what you're doing. Imong labay kag basura diha, no? Awag din nagtan-aw. May mabawal no jaywalking. Pagtanaw wa may sitong, tabok. It's not a good, no? Dili maayo kaayo nga. Other than that, no, arita sa instruction sa eskwelahan. Oh, gitagaan og form kay paansiran adto paansiron sa form, naghimo og iyang answer, naghimo siya og Microsoft Word. Iyang gi-submit siyang sir. So, wala siya nagunahuna nga iyang sir bright kayo, no? Why will I accept your work, no, nga gitagaan man ta mo form? Why am I going to consider you about that one? In the first place, akong butang dito for strict compliance. You have to answer the atong form. Di man mo answer sa form kay ganahan man atong drag copy paste nya drag nya copy paste. butang din ito. You know what? This is something that is actually, I would like to share this one to everybody, no? Do not forget, no? Nga kami mga teacher class, wa pa na ninyo buhata. It's not about being suspicious. But kami mga na teacher class, sometimes nagsigi mo ka ng inaana ba? Do not forget nga natay plagiarism test. Amo man nang ikuan, amo nang ikuan ito ang plagiarism test. Nigtanaw na mo dito nga, wow, no? Very well said. Sige ko no, ato ako nung plagiarism test. Pag-examine na to. Asos tinuod gyud plagiarized 100% good. Zero. Nungutana sir ngano zero mo ko sir nga ni pass mo ko. Yes, correct no. You submitted your output. But the question is, where did you get your answer? Coming from your own. Sige ko no daw, explain ko no. Awa man gyud. Di mo sad ka explain. How am I going to put grades on your output? Mo na nga sometimes class be cautious also, no? You have to be very cautious. So ang rules and instructions that could help you, no? That would help you. Pareha nang sa ano kanang miingon nga high voltage danger high voltage. It's very important to become compliant, no? To comply with the rules and regulations, the rules and uh, for the benefit of the person who actually um authored that particular rules or law or instructions, no. It's not about for providing benefits sa katong naghatag sa instructions. It's for the benefit of everybody, okay. Sa instructor kami mga instructor, for us nga smooth ang atuang pag check, dili pud kana actually maka-cause og a lot of burden sa mua. Kay liman mo gilaliman mo trabaho sa mga maestro daghan biya mig checkan pud class, no. Dili kay kana ra niya dili ra pud estudyante or section daghan. How? Do not be part of the problem, be part of the solution, okay. Next we have attention grabbing, being an epal. It is natural for Filipinos to attract attention by standing out as we are a fun and people loving race. Nevertheless, it simply being an attention grabber. Sometimes in our desperate need to be the center of attention, we do things that are already embarrassing, like butting in conversation as a know-it-all or by being scandalous. So this habit is also common to our or this kind of it more shame than fame. You know, Ode? No? Mm. You know, also attention seeker. Usahay, no? Dahil mga ingani kas, nanak na names. Now we have being onion skin or too sensitive. Another habit or attitude that we need to change is our being too prideful, which usually results to being oversensitive. If we think highly of ourselves, then we have the tendency to put a wall around us, and that side we do not know how to accept constructive criticism, then we can never expect unity. Take constructive criticism. This is a positive criticism. Why? This can make the person become a better person. No? This can actually somehow help the person to actually understand what are the things that are needed to be improved to him, no? Or to the subject. So mo na nga, sometimes no, we should love criticism because especially kanila sad siya kasi na po yung mga certain nga mga kuan na po yung mga nga even though you are performing well with your work and you cannot actually instead of instead of instead of getting achieve kuan nila ba, that is something that can help them, no, that can something that can actually inspires them to actually do the same achievements also. Ang ilang gibuhat, ang ilang gibuhat nga mura sad kag ma-down hinungka nya ang kuan na no mukatawa na sila. Uh, because they never gave themselves a chance to try. They never gave themselves 100% effort no to do that thing. Nya kung sila nay kuan, kung ikaw nay mo mumulihok nya nindot kay mo gilihok sa walay sa wayon na no. So kaning too sensitive dako-dako og pride kung compliment ako kay ngisi no. Pero if that is something a criticism, suko dayon no kay murag giinsulto sila wa sila gisituan. Okay? Excuse me. Next, living beyond your means, social climbing. Sometimes us think that as long as we near designer clothes and shoes and we send our children to the most expensive schools, it is all right to be swimming in credits and loans. You know, ano? Nagingon sa Bisaya pa, malumos sa utang, no? Hmm. Bahala na, no? As long as nga nindot bisan nindot lang si nina, no? Oh, nindot si nina, no? Kung anak na-eskwela sa expensive course, it doesn't matter. Anyway, surviving naman ang status. Surviving lagi pero nalumos sa utang, no? Langoy kas sometimes it's not good, no? Usahay di man sad kas we're just human, no? Nya usahay kanang we cannot help ourselves to actually desire also to experience just like any other people who are an elite. No, it's not uh, nga para mignanata no without um ana bang ato ibaligya ang atong dignity no. I'm pretty sure you know what I mean no. Ang uban nga mga babae bahala na lang no basta or sa ambisyon ginahas lang nindot nga sinina walay nakabati. Sa kaning social climbing kas usahay di sad maayo no. Di gid usahay at all times di gid siya maayo because you have to live your life not beyond your means but yeah no in the level of your own means. Oh, that's the time nga of course you have to level up also because that is important, di ba? Aritas Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, di ba? Kuan kas teach coming from the Taoism no atong sa oriental thoughts no, sa oriental nga mga philosophers. Sa Taoism tas nagkuan gid sila kas no nga mas nindot kuno nga magpuyo ka nga kanang no or mulayo sa kanang ang tao di siya maka-achieve sa kanang gitawag nitong happiness when the person actually started the when the person actually started to demand something that is beyond sa iyang means beyond sa iyang makaya. Kay magkabuang-buang naman imong agi no, mao nga gingon hamakin ang lahat no, makuha mo lang. So that's not good. Next we have passivity no, lack of leadership. Very passive. Filipinos lack of initiative for change is also one reason why our country does not progress. We keep on complaining against change. However, the worst reason for this could be our lack of care for what is happening around us. Common Filipinos also lack courage and confidence. If you can notice it in classrooms, churches, or conferences rooms, most of us don't like to sit in the front seat. You know, no? And muna, no? Galing passivity. This worship. Sige ta pangua, no? Sige ta pang blame. Meaning to say, sa tua class, we lose that faith sa tuang kaugalingon. Kay ngano, somehow class no, mao gitong gingon class no, usahay mingon ka nga di na lang ko motabang oy kay gamay ra man ni mauwa man ko. You can change life even a single centavo, no? That's big enough. That is something that can somehow move the life of the people, move the life of the person. Na parehas ng taong grasa or na may makit-an nga mga gutom nga mga tao nga naglakaw-lakaw sa kalsada. Nya imong kwarta dus ra mauwa ka mohatag kay dus ra man ang pan karon tag size naman. Or at least, di ba? You give them 2 pesos. If the other person also will give them 2 pesos, so gamay na lang, no? They're much closer to the boundary na makapalit sila og pan. So, do not be ashamed. No, do not be uh, a single centavo. You can, mo sige, ano nga, you can move mountains. But we're not talking about mountains here. We're talking about people. With that help, no, even in a kuan lang nga amount, no, in a lower amount, you can change of our country. So the Philippines is rich both in resources, are intelligent, and we have the capability to compete globally. Therefore, if these weights will be removed, then we can advance higher and faster. Everything will only be possible if each of us will start the change. So kani siya no, kinahanglan tangtang bad habits. Okay. So this time, it's movie time, viewing, analyzing, reflection. So there, you're going to watch a movie, no? Yes, you have to watch the movie. Next, do you see one negative factor have in your daily life? How- So, di ba? O, sige. Ito na, magamit ko, ano? Okay. I'll just leave this one, no, to you, no, the implementing legacy. Okay, implementing agency. It would be very much helpful, no, to actually discuss ani sa inyo ha. No, but I think it could spend a lot more time no nga para makuan mo ani. So atuan ni siya nga i-discuss, ako ni i-discuss uh, next video no by next video. Okay, para nga dili malibog ang tanan. So I think that would end up with my discussion no for this morning. Um thank you no. Thank you so much no everyone and have a great day. So have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much, and God bless you all. So don't forget, class. You have to you have to watch a movie, you know, so that you can actually answer all of those questions or coming from the activity. Bye.